chatter out there about any correlation between us and our business in the US and the business in Australia, and it's just simply not the case, and we'll go through that in a minute. I think in order to understand really where we are today, you need to understand where we came from. So 10 years ago, ComFree provided a lawn sign, a spot on their website, and some photos. There was no talk of MLS. There was nothing. It was a marketing company. They weren't a brokerage. In 2011, they decided, well, this little thing called the consent order happened. We can now put some listings on MLS. How do we do this? We're not a brokerage. Well, they found a third party. That third party was posting listings on the MLS platform. Shortly after, we evolved to become, let's do this ourselves. We can do this. We can post listings. Let's control this. Let's step into the regulated environment. We want to be a part of the industry. We started posting our own listings. At that time, we were a member of only one board, the Toronto Real Estate Board. You had to contact the seller directly to book a showing, and you had to contact the seller directly for an offer. We're going to talk about how that's evolved over the years and how that's not the case anymore. Offers and negotiations are introduced in 2013. I myself, as well as one of my broker colleagues, did the first transaction where we were representing the seller, which you guys would know to be true. You do it every day. That's what you're doing with all of your listings. But we had to evolve to that as a business in 2013 to say we're going to offer that type of representation. And it was well received. In talking to colleagues in the industry, they were very happy to deal with another professional realtor when it comes to negotiating the offer. 2017, we came out with a home buying service. We started representing buyers. Why did it take us so long? Because we wanted to try and perfect what we were doing on the listing side. And in 2019, we were purchased by a company in the UK, which is the largest estate agency in the UK. And at that time, I think this is where I'll address the differences between us and Purple Bricks USA and Purple Bricks Australia. As you can see here, we've been a thriving business for 10 years. We've been growing. We've been evolving. We've been learning. I've been the broker of record since day one. What they bought here was much different than starting a new business in Australia and in the US. That takes us to 2020. And what does it look like today? Well, I'm happy to announce that every single one of our listings this year has full representation when it comes to offers. There's a clear commission stated as to what the seller is offering to you, as well as we're doing showings. You're booking your showings with us. So no longer do you have to communicate with the seller. There may be a couple of legacy listings left that we listed at the end of last year, but any new listing this year that you see on your board system, that's the case. And we think that's a great step forward. And that's a big improvement. So myths that exist out there like, are you guys even doing FinTrack? Are you guys even compliant? How are you doing this stuff? One of our licensed realtors that lives in Ontario is going out to that customer's home, sitting across the table from them the same way that you are in a listing appointment. They're taking their photos. They're having a tough conversation about here's the market conditions. Here's what you could get for your home. They're level setting expectations. They're meeting their FinTrack requirements, and they're collecting all the information we need to post that home on the board's MLS system. So I think that's a massive step forward, especially when you consider our legacy going back to the ComFree days where you had to contact the seller. Being able that you're dealing with us now, we've evolved so much, and all of that is leveraging technology, leveraging hiring great people, great realtors out there, and I think it's never been a better time to know what we're doing and know how we can collaborate and professionally work together. Speaking of working together, this is our showing service. So, because we're a provincial-wide brokerage, we're centralized in one office for all of the province, it's not as simple as just saying use showing time, because guess what? Showing time isn't on the Toronto Real Estate Board. That doesn't work in Toronto. That works in Ottawa, and we're doing our best to implement that on our listings in Ottawa. So we had to create our own tool. Like I said, we're leveraging technology here. This is a screenshot from our website here. If you've booked a showing with us in the past, we have your information. You can go onto the website, you can put in your cell phone number, you can see time slots here that are available. If the time slot's not available and the seller has told us that they can't accommodate a showing at that time, you won't be able to book it. And the great part about this is once you book it, once you book that showing, you're going to get a confirmation right back to your cell phone. Hey, it's been confirmed. You're going to receive the lockbox code through your brokerage as you normally would. But what you're also going to receive is you're going to receive a text message from us if an offer comes in on that property, so you can act accordingly. When we launched this about a year ago, booking online. Now this accounts for about half of our showings that are booked in Ontario are all booked through the website directly. Of course, you can still call us. We have a dedicated call center. But again, this is available to you 24/7, and you can see what availability there is for the home. Now, offers and negotiations. I think the myth out there about offers and negotiations with us is, well, we saw it earlier, they're not available on evenings and weekends. The reality is as long as you get your offer to us, we're open 7 days a week. As long as you get your offer to us before 8 p.m., we'll work on it with you that night. We work past 8 p.m. lots of times, but you need to get that offer to us at 8 p.m. That's something that we've taken a stance at. Some of you may see that as too early. I know, I've received that feedback. But guess what? The consumer loves it. Because if we're starting a new offer at 9 p.m., it can easily go to 12 p.m. And I've never known any home seller that wants to be working on that at 12 p.m. So if we start an offer at 8, it goes till 10. If you have a small family like I do, I think that's where we believe that we're onto something there. All of us, we don't need to be working till 1 a.m. We don't need to be working till midnight. So how do you submit an offer to us? It's real easy. You don't have to check the listing anymore. You don't have to go in and see, am I dealing with the seller? What is the commission? How do I do this? It's really easy. Every offer comes to us. We have a dedicated team of people that strictly receive offers and dispatch them out to our teams of agents out there. Now, yes, those agents, they're covering the whole province. So maybe it's not a realtor that you're familiar with. Maybe they don't live in your backyard, but they're doing hundreds of transactions per year. And we have people on this team that have done that for 5 or 6 years straight. They have lots of experience. They're very familiar with all markets. I think a big undertone of the whole day today has been collaboration and cooperation. And I think one of the myths out there, it comes from our legacy as a business, as ComFree. The very first listings that we posted on the Toronto Real Estate Board, every listing said 1 cent cooperating commission. That left you guys in the dark. You had to negotiate directly with the seller. That's no longer the case. It's right in the cooperating brokerage field. It's when we put it in that field, you don't have to worry about whether you're getting paid or not, because all the board rules say that we have to make sure that you get paid. And we do something a little bit unique. We actually direct your paycheck or your funds or your commission through the seller's lawyer. So typically when you collaborate with us, your brokerage is going to receive their part of the commission check to allot to you about a week sooner, because we're directing it right there, right from the lawyer. So I think we talked a lot about myths out there. I put some really positive stuff, quasi-positive stuff on the slide there earlier about some of the myths that you might see online. I've tried to address some of those concerns, some of those questions that you might have. But if you have a question, I care, we care. All of the 80 agents that I talked about at Purple Bricks, as well as our office staff, they care, okay? I want to know. I care so much. This is my direct cell phone line. If you texted me right now, it's probably going to buzz in my pocket. That's my direct email line. I'm not hiding. We are available. If you have an issue, the best way to get that issue or question, or maybe we're in the midst, maybe it's yourself or one of your agents, we're in the middle of a transaction, reach out to us. Posting something on social media, waiting for a reply, you might have something witty to say, but it doesn't help us, and it doesn't help the professionalism in our industry, okay? I'm available. This is my direct line, and I care, and we all care at Purple Bricks. And yes, somebody's calling me because my phone just buzzed in my pocket. It's either a really good coincidence or somebody's guessing. If you want to see, it's right there. Wayne is calling me. So I don't know if you're in the audience, Wayne, but good on you. Oh, Virginia. See, several people are calling me. See, I told you. It was my number. Luckily, I did silence it. That being said, there is still an elephant in the room. That elephant in the room is probably a couple of things maybe in your mind that you have questions, maybe you've asked, maybe you want me to address. I want to be able to address those head on. And I think the first one is, many of you are probably aware of some articles that were posted about us, about online reviews. I hear from the front row, so that's good confirmation that you were aware of that. Thank you for that. My assumption was correct. Guys, I got to be as transparent as possible with you here. At no time did we ask for anything that was not authentic or genuine to be posted. That's the simple matter of the fact there. In regards to our advertising, we're spending a lot on advertising. We have market research firms. As we've all heard today, let's take a step back. We've all heard today there's different models, there's different way of doing it. You guys just heard a panel on the difference between teams versus a brokerage, and the pros and cons there. 3 different business models up here earlier on the stage as well. Industry is changing, industry is evolving. Our shareholders investing in us, they see an opportunity, and with that, we've spent money on market research. How do we get our message across? We are a disruptor in the industry, and we need to understand what message resonates with the consumer, because that's who we're marketing to. I understand when we play these ads, whether it's during a hockey game that you might be watching, or whether it's during the Super Bowl, or the Grammys, or the Oscars, I get it. I wouldn't want to see a competitor's ad during that time either, right? But the reality is our current campaign, there's no mention of no commission whatsoever. And we believe that this is the message that best resonates with the consumer, given that our business model is a little bit differently. Despite our advertising, there's room for everyone in this industry. There really is. Everybody's said it. I'm not the first one saying it up on this stage here. There's lots of room. We talk about how the industry is growing. It's a great time for us to collaborate and work together. There's a piece of the pie for every one of us out there. There's no need to be concerned about one business model or the other if you're confident in what you're doing and what you're providing to your consumer. Because this is still a face-to-face business. Our agents are working face-to-face. Our agents are dealing with stuff over the phone, and they're building relationships, and that's been another common theme that I've heard up here on the stage today. So, what other industries have lots of competition out there? Take the grocery industry. You can buy a bag of chips at no frills. You can get it delivered to your house. You can buy it at the same place where you might buy something else. You could buy it at a convenience store that's open 24/7. You could buy it at a place that gives you lots of points and tracks your purchases. But the one thing that separates the real estate industry from, call it the grocery industry or anything else out there, is our industry is based off of collaboration and cooperation. I think we've taken a lot of steps forward this year. I think I've shared some of those steps with you in terms of clear commission amounts offered on all of our listings, shared with you what we're doing, what's happening behind the scenes, and the fact that we are booking showings on all of our listings. Heck, I even gave you my cell phone number and some of you tested it. We care, we want to collaborate, we want to work together. And I hope I've answered all your questions, but in case I haven't answered all your questions, we left some time for you guys to ask questions. Yes?